Hello, this is in this video I'm going to give you a bit of a catch up on my life and what's been going on, and I'm going to talk about the equinox, which it is now that time of year. For the Southern Hemisphere, we are in the autumn equinox, which is my very favourite time of year as we head for the dark. And I've got my Seasons of the Witch Mabon Oracle, which is the Celtic name for the autumn equinox. I've also got a new deck. This one is thanks to my friend Carol, and it actually did come before I went on my trip, but I didn't get a chance to open it, so I've got that now. I haven't looked at it at all, and it's a fungi or mushroom hunting mushroom deck. Can't remember even the exact title. Um, so again, that is very in keeping with the season. So here we are. It's March, the last week of March, nearly, and in New Zealand. And I've mainly been recovering. I've been so exhausted and so burnt out. It's unreal. I cannot believe the effect that trip had on me, energy wise. It was amazing. I'm so glad I did it. But wow. And since I came back, there's been a lot of stuff going on. You know, not being able to catch up with things because too many other things have come into play, and all the disturbed jet lag and stuff. But I'm here now. We got this Mabon Oracle, which I really like this book, this deck. It's by Laurie-Anne Anderson and Juliet Dyers, and the illustrations are by Tiana Lukovic. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but my favourite illustrator of these from these decks. And we've got Breathwork, and there we are, the Autumn Equinox. Nothing is whole without the acceptance and acknowledgement of all. I love that. It's just so amazing, and I love the moth on this card. But I love the equinox because it's like about balance and the dark and light being the same and equal and the same hours of day and night. And I just love the whole balance thing. And it's kind of also like a stillness before the kind of the pivot and the wheel turns. But I think that's really nice. Nothing is whole without the acceptance and acknowledgement of all. But I love the illustrations. The Witch's Rosary. I made one of those once. Yeah, I called it a Witch's Ladder. The Coming of Darkness. All the light is dimming. Life is withering at the core. Are you ready? I don't see winter as life withering. I see it as going into like dormancy and a peaceful time. Like shadow work and things like that. But I love that illustration. I kind of almost recognize these people from various parts of my life. Kitchen witchery, or yep, soup season. Although my soup's more like stew. The haunted house. The things that haunt you are things you have yet to let go of. Elderberries. We don't really get those much in New Zealand. The campfire, look at the walk. Fawn. And look, cow. Grieving, that's something I'm doing a lot of at the moment. Tobacco, pomegranate, love pomegranates. Oh, I've got a lovely pomegranate bowl. I must show you that. I like pomegranates for their relationship to like the underworld and Pluto and Persephone. Dare to taste the unknown, let it seduce your spirit awake. Gold scarecrow, apple of my eye, fireside of the mountain cabin, harvest witch, root vegetables. Oh, all of the stuff that you put in the soup. Shape sifting, origin, molasses, the apothecary cabinet. Aren't these illustrations gorgeous? Like, I love the details. Yummy peppers, the witch's gathering, toad, the maple tree. Oh, I brought back some maple tea and maple syrup, little lollies on sticks for the kids. They love them. From Canada. St. John's Wort, Darkness Falls. Mead and Wine, Ghost Whisperer, the Reaper, the Straw Bale, Whiskey, Falling Leaves, pumpkin spice and apple cider. Queen of the Dead, crow, not crows, corvids. Even though I have this, you know, that fear, I still like corvids, and I saw a lot of those in England and Canada. Tea magic, tea is amazing. Coven, cranberries, wool, and harvest moon. Favourite Neil Young song. And it's got these lovely gilded edges. So I really like that deck. It's a big one. I'll just find the one, the Autumn Equinox card, and we'll put that at the front so we know where we're at. Oh, also I bought some, these are some of the stones that I got from the Isle of Sheppey, on a beach near where my sister lives. And this is a beach when I had the quicksand near-death experience. Oh, that was so terrifying. I was going to look for these fossils. There's this fossil place there, and I saw a pillbox, and the tide was out. I was trying to find this, trying to get to see how close I could get to the pillbox. And at one point, I'd got this sort of mud, which was from up on the bank, stuck to my boots, and it wasn't like quicksand. It was just this really sticky mud, and it said about it up on the slope. Anyway, I went into this little rock pool to shift it off my boots, and it washed off fine, and that was all good. So I thought, oh, I'll you know, just a little out from the shore, I'll go a little bit further. The water was only a couple of inches deep, and I walked about 2 foot, I don't know, and I went completely up to my wellies straight away, and I'm not very big into this mud. It was horrible. And I just thought I'd had it. And, you know, I tried to put my other foot down, and that was going the same. And it was just, my heart went so quick. I don't even know if I talked about this in the last video when I mentioned it. Anyway, somehow I got out, but that was just scary. That was a lesson, you know. Be very, very careful when you don't know where you are. Take a big stick and chuck it in the ground first. But this stone with all the holes in is right. I had to bring some of these stones back because they were so gorgeous. I love hagstones. I only found one, maybe two. But look at these. They're just like there's a whole scene, a whole like night sky scene in these stones. I just love them. I like that one. Oops, I have to make that round. They're just gorgeous, and there are fossils. I don't think this camera does the focus thing, but this one, you can't really see it, but there is a fossil in here. I love stones though, I just love them, and I could have gone there for ages. I got a bit scared after that experience, but this is a really cool one. I think I showed you the Panini one last time. Anyway, there's some of my stones. Right, let's have a look at this deck. The Mushroom Hunters Arcana. Yeah, so my friend Carol in the US told me about this. Carol's the one who made me these beautiful dishes I showed you in a video around Christmas time, and sent me these gorgeous things and Christmas decorations. They do this amazing pottery. This is one of the little dishes that I have my candles in. I think I showed you one that I have my stones in. I love them. I love pottery. I think you should make houses, Carol. Make me a little toad house with a pointed roof. I really want houses. I love my tea light houses. I don't know if you can see them. So here we are. It's got plastic on it. Got a purple cover. The Mushroom Hunters Arcana by Joe Buckley, 2022. www.fungiarcana.com. I'm a bit weird about mushrooms. I sort of like them sometimes, and then other times I can't bear the texture. They're kind of an odd thing for me. Raw mushrooms have got so much iron in. Very solid box. Oh, look at that. Right there. So you get this guidebook, which is quite simple. Got the bottom of a mushroom on it. Art and guidebook by Joe Buckley. So he did the art and the design. So he's fascinated by the world of mushrooms. Full of magic and wonder, each mushroom has its own story to tell and its own purpose in our world, and what better way to tell their story than through the art of the tarot. I was perpetually surprised by the relationships between the tarot archetypes and the mushrooms I chose to represent them. From famed mushrooms like the fly agaric and the golden chanterelle to obscure fungi such as the fluted bird's nest and the bleeding fairy helmet, 78 mushrooms find their home here. This deck, I believe, should not be limited to those interested in tarot. The Mushroom Hunters Arcana is perfect for those who simply want to learn more about mushrooms, as this guide contains both the common and scientific names of each mushroom, as well as some fun facts about them. These cards can also be used as a learning tool. The more you use the deck, the more you'll be able to recognise each mushroom without having to refer to this book. A highly usable deck for beginner and experienced tarot readers alike. I think you'll find the cards to be intuitive. The more you learn about them, the more connections you'll find with their corresponding cards. I hope this deck brings you the same joy and enlightenment that making it has brought me. Mush love Fungi Joe. There we are. And then it goes through all of the cards. I really like it's very elegant, the back of the cards and the box and the whole design. They've got that lovely quiet, it is gilded, but not in that kind of garish way, and very gentle gilding on the edges. So let's have a look. We've got the Fool. So I'm going to need the book here because it doesn't tell you the name of the mushroom on the card. So the Fool, the common puffball. These are quite hard to find. We used to find them. People used to keep an eye on them and put bags on them and really protect them and sell them to restaurants for loads of money. But if you find one, you have to protect it when it's small. They grow big quite quickly, but then if someone wants to play football, they've gone like this with all the smoke coming out. It says it's time to stop thinking and act on instinct and trust in the universe. Begin that project, take that leap, and allow your potential to carry you forward. New beginnings, improvisation, opportunity, potential, blind trust in the universe. And then we've got the Magician, which is the fly agaric, also called the fly amanita, and it was used as a hallucinogenic by the indigenous people of Siberia. The most iconic mushroom in pop culture, and yeah, you would have seen it a lot in all of the fairy tale books and everything. They will have the red and white mushrooms. This mushroom is a signal that you have the skills necessary to move forward, but discipline will be needed. You're ready to take the next step. Manifestation, honed skills. And then we got the High Priestess, and that one is called the Dyer's Polypore. Much to the frustration of foresters and homeowners, this one causes extensive brown rot in conifers. It eats away the cellulose of the trees, wood, and hollows out their trunks at the base. Wow, and all the damage is done before the mushroom even fruits. Although terribly destructive, it is popular among crafters as a natural source of green, yellow, and golden brown dye. Coming across this mushroom is a reminder to peer beyond into a deeper space and focus on your feelings. Ignore rationality and trust your intuition. Well, that is, I guess, true. Things that are happening before you even notice they're happening. Things that are yet to be revealed, things around you are not what they appear to be. So then we've got the Empress, which is the pink oyster mushroom. And that's a call to embrace your feminine side. The Emperor is the King Boletus, or Bolete. I love the colouring. The king demands calm and authority, loyalty and order. Focus on your paternal instincts and your leadership skills, but be wary of abusing your power. Apparently some areas have passed laws to regulate this being harvested because this mushroom cannot be grown commercially, and it's one of the most sought after mushrooms in the world. The cap can open up and span to a foot across, giving the mushroom a stately regal appearance. And then we have the Hierophant, psilocybe cyanescens, also known as the potent psilocybe, one of the most powerful psychedelic mushrooms in the world. Guides us towards an intimate understanding of both the physical and subconscious world, and suggests that through ritual and tradition we may find deeper understandings. The Lovers, we've got the wood bluet. I can remember these ones, also called the purple nudist mushroom. The colour fades with age, making it very difficult to identify. And the keywords are crossroads, commitment, choices, relationships, and love. The bluet asks for authenticity of emotion, to be vulnerable and give without expecting. interesting how he chose the different mushrooms. That's the shaggy ink cap. I know this one, the chariot, or shaggy mane they call it. Maybe there is another shaggy ink cap. And this one calls for determined action in order to reach our goals. And now more than ever, your commitment and discipline are essential. Willpower, determination, travel, conquest through adversity. And we've got the lion's mane. I don't think I've ever seen one of those, and that's strength, obviously because of the lion. The hermit, the old man of the woods. It often grows alone, and as the name implies, the old man of the woods is found in the forests of low mountain ranges and alpine areas. Quiet, solitude, and soul-searching wisdom are signs to retreat from the world and rest. We got the fairy ring mushroom, the wheel of fortune. Now that's cool. Fairy rings are capable of living for centuries and grow up to a few feet a year. There's one near Stonehenge apparently that's near 100 feet wide and estimated to be over 1,000 years old. A reminder the wheel of time will always turn, so that's a really good card for the equinox, as well as justice, which is coming next, and temperance. The Matsutake, a highly prized edible mushroom that can fetch extravagant prices in Japan, sometimes as high as $1,000 per kilogram. Balance, morality, ethics, equality, reaction, and consequence. The Hanged Man is a Mexican liberty cat, which I've heard of a liberty cat, not the Mexican one. Calls for stillness, surrender yourself to the moment and seek new perspectives before moving forward. Has the potential to treat those suffering from depression, anxiety, addiction, trauma, and mood disorders. One may become suspended in time surrounding their ego and finding a sense of interconnectedness between all things. The Destroying Angel. I don't know if that's the same as a death cap. I don't think it is. Change, cycle, release, radical transformation, and rebirth. A sign for the love of all that is good. Although the species pictured on this card is Amanita hispaborigera, 3 similar species of deadly white mushrooms fall under the name Destroying Angel. They account for the overwhelming majority of mushroom poison deaths because of their resemblance to several other white mushrooms. You have to be very, very, very careful when you're doing mushroom fungi hunting. So temperance, another balance card, is the west coast reishi, one of several species that fall under the name reishi, which you see a lot of those these days in health-like remedies and stuff. Boosting the immune system, fighting cancer, a balancing adaptogen. Purpose, protection, moderation, balance, harmony, and tranquility. And then we've got the devil, which is the black morel. Fruiting in spring rather than autumn. Inspires passion, desire, quite like no mushroom inspires passion and desire quite like the morel. Obsession, indulgence, impulse, materialism, temptation, and desire. The tower, we've got the zombie ant fungus. I don't think I want to meet one of those. Catastrophe, chaos, destruction, inner change. Infamously known as a zombie ant fungus, the species of this mushroom will infect and hijack the body of an ant. Oh, yuck, I don't want to talk about it. Yuck. So I don't know where the actual mushroom is. I must be this thing here. The star. That is the ringed earth star. Wow. That's a unique one. Found all over the world. Captured the imagination of mushroom hunters for centuries. The Blackfoot of North America call them fallen stars and believe they're an indicator of supernatural events. An indication we're finding a renewed trust in the universe. So the moon, we've got the toothed jelly fungus. A gel-like interior made up of tiny water reservoirs, allowing the mushroom to shrivel up and go dormant when conditions are dry. But it's still there, unseen, waiting for the rain to reanimate its surreal form. Wow. This peculiar mushroom appears otherworldly as though lifted from a dream. Warns of fears and illusions we may have buried deep within our subconscious. The rain has come and these emotions are welling up once again. Be wary of their influence. Reconnect with your intuition. And then the sun is the golden chanterelle, very popular mushroom. I've tried those, I don't like them. I think they remind me of what chicken might taste like, or not that I've eaten chicken knowingly, but they taste like chicken smells. Enlightenment, joy, and victory. And we've got judgment, which is the black trumpet mushroom. Awakening, renewal, rebirth, and then the world, which is the honey fungus, another destructive to trees. Because of their parasites. I remember we had a tree where I used to live that had to be chopped down because of honey fungus, and it was such an amazing tree. It was a cedar of Lebanon, I think. because it was in East Anglia and it's so flat there in England, the skyline, it was visible for like tens and like miles and miles and miles. It's true. I got to go and climb up the church tower and take pictures of it before from above. It was pretty sad. And then we go through the minor arcana. I'm not going to go through every single one of these mushrooms right now because otherwise we're going forever, but we'll have a look. I really like them though. So we've got the Ace of Wands. Well, we don't use all the meanings because they're rider weight based, so we'll just have a quick look. The Yellow Morel. And then we've got Chugger for the Two of Wands. Don't like the look of those big lumps of charcoal they look like. The Three of Wands, which is the turkey tail. Have you all seen those? The lobster mushroom, Four of Wands. Celebration, reunion. Oh wow, look at that one. Looks like a squid or something. The devil's fingers, often found in leaf litter or mulch. An unusual mushroom first appearing as an egg. That's pretty creepy. Oh no, it smells of rotting flesh. I definitely do not want to come across one of those. And then we've got the Six of Wands, which is the red pinwheel or the mauve parachute. The giant club. And for the speedy card, we've got the Witch's Butter, another one I've never heard of. Grows year round, can be found on logs, fallen branches, sticks and other hardwoods. Tasteless but edible and medicinal. Wow, kind of jelly-like. The Desert Shaggy Mane. For the Nine of Wands. Resilience, persistence and courage. Found in dry areas. The Ten of Wands is the Poison Fire Coral. Burden, overwhelmed duty and hard work. Then we've got the Page of Wands, which is the Anoki. Inspiration, adventure, new ideas and limitless potential for spirit. The Golden Halo magic mushroom. So the Cybe Cuberosis for the Knight of Wands. Queen of Wands is the crown-tipped coral. I'm not losing my words. And the King of Wands is the Gemma Amanita. He will sit where he wishes. Here he rests on the Gemma Amanita, a close relative of the fly agaric. Leader, vision, honor, boldness, optimism. Can be easily mistaken for the death cat. No real danger, as you wouldn't want to consume this mushroom either. Fortunately, the King of Wands isn't here for a meal, but instead a stool from which to lead. So that's not one you want to be gobbling up. Ace of Cups, the candy cap. Though not consumed like most edible mushrooms, candy caps are sought after by many chefs for their sweet maple-like aroma and toast. Much like truffles, they're used primarily as a flavour. Love, happiness, compassion, and the shiitake. And I don't like shiitake mushrooms. Is the Two of Cups and the common button mushroom, probably the ones that I tend to eat if I do eat any. Celebration, friends, family reunions, happy times. The Devil's Urn, Four of Cups. A leathery goblet-shaped mushroom can last for several weeks. Not a great mushroom. You can eat it with a false smile, it says, if your Aunt Wanda served it to you. Pessimism, meditation, and lethargy. Jelly ear or the wood ear. Judas ear. I've heard that. It talks about the betrayal by Judas of Jesus, guilt, regret, failure, and depression. Then the Six of Cups, we've got the pink champagne cup, an air of camaraderie and innocence, as if raising their glasses in remembrance of times gone by. Reconnect with the inner child. It doesn't say whether you can eat that one or not. Step back from adulthood for a moment and revel in your happy memories. The Seven of Cups, the green elf cup. These are cool, these ones. Fantasy, indecision, wishful thinking. Sometimes referred to as a green oak. Used for, hang on a minute. The wood infected with these have been used for decorative woodwork since the 14th century to colour it with that colour. Wow. The violet chanterelle. That's a nice card. A hauntingly beautiful edible mushroom, highly regarded by many, but very rare. The old-growth forests they call home are being cut down. Withdrawal, escapism, abandonment, and disillusion. They are now an endangered species. Coming across one may indicate a time to withdraw from a certain situation. And then we've got the Nine of Cups, which is the yellow fairy cup or lemon drop. A maximum cap size of only 4 millimeters, but it's hard to miss because of the tendency to grow in swarms and hundreds of thousands. They're classed as inedible, although apparently very sweet. Contentment, fulfillment, and gratitude. And then the Ten of Cups is the fluted bird's nest. Harmony, security, love, family. The Scarlet Elf Cup, curiosity, technically edible but more commonly used as decoration. In Russia, they used to be used as coloured dressings for meals, while in England they've been arranged with moss leaves to be sold as table decor. Knight of Cups, very appropriately, the man on horseback, resting after a long day of foraging with his little banjo, also known as the Yellow Knight. They're not sure if they're toxic or not, best to avoid. But romance, charm, creativity, beauty, and grace. In medieval France, these mushrooms were reserved for knights, while other lesser mushrooms were left for the peasants. They're long regarded as a choice edible, but some debate whether they're poisonous or not. Queen of Cups. The Queen believes intuition, compassion, and warmth. So she follows the intuition to find a beautiful crop of Boletus. I think they've got what kind of purple lilac underneath side. The Violet Crown Cup, I like him. Balance, emotional stability, maturity. No longer considered edible as it tends to absorb arsenic from the soil. It happily heralds the beginning of the morel season. So we've got the Ace of Swords, which is the artist comp. New ideas. For centuries used as a canvas for illustrations. Scratching of a fine point allows for intricate line work. Wow. The white underside, when scratched or rubbed, turns a dark brown. Oh, you can see that's what that drawing's all about on there. Two of Swords, Tsukiyutaki, I think. Orange-brown in the light of day, but then it must glow green in dark, luminescent. Apparently it's so bright you can see it 100 feet away. Hard decision, stalemate, opposition, evident. And the bleeding tooth fungus, that looks pretty gruesome. An unsettling mushroom, but it isn't poisonous, but it apparently tastes bitter. Heartache, grief, and self-destructive thinking. It's pretty good for the Three of Swords. The Monk's Head, a stately mushroom common in Europe, one of few mushrooms able to endure the first frost of winter. Although edible and popular in Italy in stews and frittata, it may easily be mistaken for one of the mushrooms that cause paralysis. So while it's take time to rest and contemplate like a monk, be careful not to paralyze yourself in stagnation for too long. Rest, meditation, sanctuary, and spiritual counseling. Right, the Five of Swords. The Funeral Bell. Betrayal, conflict. The powdery piggyback is the Six of Swords. Unique in that it only grows atop the caps of decaying mushrooms. Beautiful display of the scales, the seamless transition of death into life. A dying mushroom carrying a new mushroom into the world. Oh, wow. And then the Seven of Swords is the false morel. Still considered a delicacy. It can be deadly if eaten raw. Not recommended. Deception, manipulation, strategy. And then the Eight of Swords, that's a red cage mushroom. Trapped, restricted, helplessness, imprisoned. I don't think they're edible. Oh, smells of rotting flesh like the devil's fingers. Then Nine of Swords, we've got the Bleeding Heart, or Bleeding Fairy Helmet. Said to be bioluminescent. Its light is extremely weak and near impossible to see in the dark. Stabbed or broken, it will bleed. Anxiety, insomnia, nightmares, depression. And we've got the Ten of Swords, which is the Death Cap. I don't think we need to say much about that. The Giant Puffball, they're probably the ones I was talking about earlier. That's the Page of Swords, curiosity, new perspective, mental agility. The Knight of Swords is the Texas Star. That mushroom there looks like it's got a spider's web in it. Apparently, it must maybe the rarest mushroom in the world, found only in Texas and Japan. Wow. Because they're on the same latitude. First resembling a dark cigar butting up from the ground, it splits open into a beautiful orange-brown star. Texas recently made the Texas Star its official state mushroom. Only a few hundred people are said to ever have seen it, and the Knight is determined to be one of them. Ambitious, quick-thinking, driven, focused, impatient. And the Queen of Swords, we have got the Shrimp Brassula Crab Brittlegill. Never heard of one of those. Found in coniferous forests. And then the King of Swords is the White Chanterelle. The chef dude cut them all up. And then we've got the Pentacles. Winter White Truffle. Oh, we know about truffles. Not quite as well known as the famed black truffles of Europe, but much revered in the mushroom world. Lots of money opportunities from truffles. As I said, I know lots of people who sold these truffles for quite a lot of money. And then that is the autumn truffle, the burgundy truffle, a wider distribution than any other truffle species, known for their hazelnut-like aroma and flame reminiscent of chocolate and roasted coffee. Three of Pentacles is a smooth black truffle. This truffle's warts are so low that the truffle appears smooth on its surface. Like the idea of eating a food that looks warty, I just couldn't do it. No. And then we've got the Chinese black truffle, and it says, well, there's nothing wrong with it in itself. It's often confused with the highly prized Perigord black truffle, which start at $800 a pound, while Chinese black truffles and have an inferior flavour and aroma and only sell for about $20 a pound. The Five of Pentacles is one of my favourite cards, is the Dead Man's Hand, which is a false truffle. It begins to grow completely buried. When the Dead Man's Hand is still underground, it may be identified as a white truffle split in half will reveal its secret. The Dead Man's Hand is highly toxic and may be fatal if consumed. And then for the sixth, we've got the Bianchetto truffle, much more commonly Piedmont truffle. Is sometimes called the poor man's truffle because of its affordability. Fragrant offers a comparable flavour to its more expensive relative. It's also easy to cultivate and more adaptable. This one is less fragrant but offers a comparable flavour to its more expensive counterparts. We've got the Oregon white truffle, North America's answer to the legendary Piedmont white truffle of Europe. Fruition, investment, rewards and perseverance. Another very prized truffle to find. Then we've got the Muscat truffle, the winter black truffle, found in the same areas as the Perigord truffle, which is the Ten of Pentacles, but not quite as flavourful. Commercial value is limited. It's still a quality truffle with a nutty, musky aroma. That's that musky aroma. I don't like that. Then the Ten of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles, is a summer black truffle, harvested from May to August. But they think it may simply be an immature specimen of the autumn black truffle. And here we have the Ten of Pentacles, which is the Perigord truffle, the second most expensive truffle in the world, right behind that one we saw at the beginning, the Piedmont white truffle. We've got the pecan truffle, much more affordable than other truffles, can still pay up for £160 a pound. The Thailand white truffle, found in tropical climates. They spread themselves about these truffles. And then we've got the Oregon black truffle, which was another version of the relatively unknown when compared to the prized black truffles. Europe is gaining more and more recognition for its variety of aromas, described as floral, fruity, chocolatey, and cheese-like. Some compare its scent to pineapple. Well, that's a bit of a mixture. And then we have the King of Pentacles, the brown Harmony desert truffle. Native to the deserts of North Africa and the Middle East, the most common and widely collected truffle in the world. Wow. Wealth, abundance, and security. The taste that lies somewhere between mushroom and artichoke. I'm sure about artichoke. I haven't had an artichoke experience. I ate globe artichoke for the first time the day before I found out I was pregnant with my firstborn. And I thought it was an allergy to the artichoke because it tasted a bit odd to me. I've never eaten it before, and I was in so much pain. I thought I'd been poisoned or something, but I wasn't. I was pregnant. So there we have the Mushroom Hunters Arcana. I really like the card. I like this old kind of, I like the 70s feel to it, the colour, and I do love Border's card. And I like the cardstock. It's quite kind of papery. But I've gone on a bit with this video. I am sort of sorry here. I've been doing quite a lot of journaling. I must make a journaling video. The other thing, I started my other channel. I kept talking about it, that I was going to start another channel. And now I have done it. I will link it below if any of you want to check it out. It's only got one video and I don't think it's got any views yet. It took me a lot of courage to upload the first video because it's talking head and you know how I feel about showing myself and making a fool of myself. But I did felt for a very long time. It was something I needed to do. It's about my story of being late diagnosed with autism fairly recently, in the last couple of years, and the whole thing about it. I'm talking a lot about autism. So if you're interested in that, then give it a look. I'm not begging for people to go and check it out, but if you are have any interest in it, then please do. But yeah, the channel's called Broccoli and Toast. I'll explain why on the channel in one of the future videos. But it's there now. It's up and running. As I said, it's very new. It's only got one video and maybe 1 or 2 views. I was so nervous in the first video, I forgot to introduce the name, myself, or the channel. So, Autumn Equinox, heading for the dark, getting darker. The leaves are falling off the willow trees. They're all gone yellow, and the maple trees are going to start turning red soon. Most of my wildflowers have died off. Everything's kind of like slowed right down. The figs are still ripening, but quite a few already. The apples and pears are pretty much gone. I don't actually like figs very much. I eat them occasionally. Anyway, there we are. This is the video. Aren't these stones just so beautiful? I'm going to say goodbye. And I will see you again soon. I'll try not to leave it so long next time. I want to make a video about why I revisit my old journals, why I keep them and revisit them, and how they help me, because I've been doing quite a bit of that recently. It has been really helpful. So I thought I'd do a video about that soon. Okay, bye. Happy equinox, whichever end of the world you live in.